what did you discover out of that? I mean, that's pretty.
Discovered that my confidence was directly rooted to my income, and that when things were going well monetarily, I was a really nice husband. But when things weren't, my wife became my emotional punching bag. I also I also recognized that
Yeah.
my anger and emotions were extremely volatile, and they had a tendency to suck the life out of a room. So if I came in and obviously, I'm stressed about finances or whatever it may be, and the room's at a high, suck it right out. So then what's going on? My wife's walking on eggshells. And because she's walking like that, the kids, maybe they shrink a little bit. All because dad doesn't know how to deal with his own shit. And at the same time, the big thing that exposed me last year was just the fact that this is one of the greatest gifts that I was given. My wife was super supportive at first about me doing this experience last year.
Yes.
And then about 3 months in, after our second son was born, she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean what I'm doing?" She's like, "You're not working." Or she's like, "You're not making money. You're flying out there. You're running somebody else's business." She's like, she wanted me to quit. She wanted me to quit. And here's the thing that I recognize is like, I felt this prompt in my soul that this was my calling to go do this, that I had to build the man to then run the business. And so I stuck in the fight with myself. I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting. And the amount of tension that created between the two of us for 10 months, I thought it was over. I thought we were going to be done. Yet just last week on the way to the airport, because I'm flying back out to Dana Point, my wife goes, I was like, "Hey, we're in a little bit of a different spot going out to Dana Point this time than we were last time." She's like, "Yeah." I go, "Let me ask you a question." I go, "What would have happened if I had quit last year?" She goes, "I wouldn't have respected you."
She wouldn't have respected you.
No. She goes, "Even though that's what I wanted, I wouldn't have
I
respected
love
you."
that point. I love that point.
And so what I realized is that, yes, I got exposed in all these areas, but I also got exposed what happens when a man is so clear on his conviction that not even his wife can move him.
I was just talking with a guy about this, and like a man getting in what I call divine order. And a lot of people say, well, God first, right? God first, yourself second, my wife next, and my kids after that. And I'm like, now you're missing a piece. God first, second piece, you, but you connected to God's mission for your life. So God's mission is the third piece. Because you're not going to be happy. You're not going to fulfill your destiny. You're not going to do what you're supposed to do unless you are in alignment with what God has for you to do in this earth. And if you don't do that, you really are not going to help your wife to the degree you can. You're not going to help your kids to the degree that you can. And in my mind, what you just said is exactly what you did. You said, God's number one. And in my soul, I feel God is saying, this is what I've got to do to become the man that I'm supposed to become and to do the assignment that God placed me on this earth for. And that assignment is more important than anything else. And you did it. And it makes sense to me because it actually lines up biblically. Because before God would launch a man, he always connects a man with another man. And you got to go serve that other man. And then you catch what that man has on his life. Because it's one thing to learn something, it's another thing to catch something.
Tell me more.
I learned this a long time ago with with my mentor. I didn't have a father. I didn't have any father figures. They were all bad father figures. And then God brought a mentor in my life, an amazing, amazing father, amazing international leader with international respect. And I made a decision that I was going to serve this man. And I served him for 3 years at my own expense. So I spent a lot of time with the guy. And it wasn't so much he would sit down and say, read this book, go through my course, go through this. But he'd just say, just be with me. And I would sit with him at the tables. I would be with him in his coaching sessions. I would be there when he's training other people. I would watch him how he deals with the waiters. I would be there how he dealt with his wife and his kids. I would see all of this. And then when I would leave his presence, I would be doing something, and because I didn't learn it, I caught it. I caught his spirit. And I would be talking, Sergio, and I could literally hear him saying the exact same words. I still do it today.
Same.
And so it was him speaking through me of something that was way beyond. I mean, the guy now is 80 years old. The guy's wisdom way beyond me. But here I am speaking what I caught. Not, oh, let me pull this up where's my notebook? Let me see what he said. It was just, it got in me because I caught it.
That makes 100% sense. I would not be able to do what I'm doing if Garrett J. White hadn't asked me to be his protege for a year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I will be forever grateful. It's the best. It was some of the hardest and the best education that I've ever received. And I think inevitably what you do is it transforms you. Like there's no other word. You see things, you experience things, you feel things that you can't like turn the clock back on. And unless you've been in it for that long, because I calculated the hours, it was like 2,500 hours last year. That's a lot, and it's this experience that allowed me to then ask myself, okay, well, what does this mean for Sergio? Because I'm not trying to be him. There's no way I can be. He's undefeated at being him, but I'm undefeated at being me. So I took the energy, the feelings, the emotions, the connection, the mission, and I turned it into what I want to do, which is this.
But when I met you, okay, I'm not some clown. I'm not one of these clowns. I'm very seasoned man. And when I was at the Pivot Challenge, what caused me to respect Garrett even more than what I already had respected him was when I saw you. I'm like, OMG. I can see how this man has impacted this man in a very, very deep way. And it's pretty interesting. And another side note, but I think we lost an art to this. Because they're even saying it now. There was a time in our nation where we had an apprentice. You became an apprentice in the trades. And a young man would go work for another older man and watch him and study him and be with him and learn from him. And we don't have that going on anymore. Where we got going to book work. Hey, go to college and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college and learn some skills from people who've never even done it before. And then you go way back to the call of the gospel to go make disciples. Most people have no clue what that word means. A disciple in the old days meant you left everything and you committed yourself to follow this one man around wherever he went. You slept with him, you ate with him, you hung out with him. you caught what was on him. And men would forsake everything. It was Jesus going to the disciples, follow me. They understood. Oh, these guys had businesses, these guys had families, and they said, okay, I'm going for this 3-year journey.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was so challenging for my wife to understand it. You see, she thought I was being taken advantage of because she wasn't in
Yeah,
the relationship. She
sure.
didn't get it. And the reality is she was in survival mode, right? She had a toddler, we had a toddler,
Right.
and we had a newborn. So of course, I get it. And so as you're talking about just being this disciple, right, of like just like learning and experiencing it, right? There was this moment where I realized that I had stepped out of this performance game massively and into this presence game over the last year. And there's been this erosion and then rebuilding of a performance and then the erosion of it and then the recreation of me and presence and all of it, right? Because inevitably, when you hang out with somebody for so long, you start to think, operate, and act like them. Sometimes you emulate them to a point until you find yourself. This is just like any artist. They have their favorite artist. They emulate the artist until they find their own tune and voice, and then all of a sudden they take off. No different than the Beatles or Eminem or anybody. Hey, at some point they sounded like somebody else until they found their own voice, and so that was me.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, I
then there was
love it.
this deconstruction after I was emulating to find my own voice, my tone, my frequency, but that doesn't happen unless I'm looking at him. And so I think part of this, was had a lot of people being like, "We don't even recognize you. I don't even recognize me. Hi, welcome to the club. I am." The thing is, though, with this game, Keith, as you know, you fail publicly. There's no, I mean, as far as, I mean, there might be another way to do it, but I was just like, I was putting everything on the internet, and people were like, "What in the hell?" I'm like, "Yeah, great question. What in the hell? I don't know. I don't know." But inevitably, that came to this spot where I'm at today. I had to go through this discipleship. I had to leave everything I knew, right? I had to
Yes.
God put pressure on me financially, even though Garrett was willing to pay. I got this prompt from God being like, "Hey, you can't take money from him." Happened twice last year. He offered in the beginning. I said no. 7 months later, he offered again. I was like, "Hey, man, I might be the worst businessman of all time, or I'm the most obedient man there ever lived. I can't take money from you." He's like, "Okay." And it made it a very pure relationship between us. And I think in all of that, it allowed me to absorb what I need to absorb without it being a transaction.
The thought comes to me, brother, is goodness is free, but greatness will cost you.
To say the least.
And this what you've done, what you did there is, you got millions of dollars of education and an experience that's going to carry you into your 60s and 70s
Yep.
that you'll never, ever, ever forget your whole life.
Keith, the very first day I'm sitting there, very first time I go out to this event, and Garrett's got me setting up umbrellas in his backyard. And I'm like, "You're telling me I left a 7-figure business for this shit?" This was in my mind, right?
Well,
And
that's
then I had,
nice, man. You should have been cleaning the toilets, man.
I was stocking snacks. I felt like I was back in the fighter squadron back when I was in the military. I was stocking the snack bar, cleaning up, taking trash out. It was in that moment that I realized, like, hey, I had to humble myself again. Because I'm 5'6", but I was carrying like this big stature after real estate, being like, "Oh, look at me." But it's all rooted
Right.
in fake power anyway. And so I had to be brought to my knees so many times
Mhm.
just to find myself again. Actually, not even find myself, to remember who I am.
You're going to make such an impact because of this decision you made. Because you stepped out of just good. Most men won't pay that price. You become a great man. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, brother.
I can't help but just think as we pause here for a moment, guys that could be listening and you're searching for something deeper. Of course, this would all have to be wrapped in prayer and all that. But if there's anybody listening that looks up to me, listening to this broadcast, you say, man, I'd like to be him someday. Do what Sergio did. Move, come down to Florida, come serve me for a year. Come hang out with me for a year. It's one of the best educations you'll ever get. And I can't believe I'm even saying this, but this may be for somebody out there. And but you know, I was grateful that a man of God, a very successful man of God, gave me the opportunity to do it. I've never actually even given anybody an opportunity to do that myself. There you go.
That's definitely meant for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
So let's get into, we only got a couple minutes. One of the things that I'm really, really passionate, I've been married for 34 years. I've always been intrigued by how I could be, better at being the king of my castle and being the king's servant in my castle. And talk to us about some things that you're learning about marriage. Like a lot of guys right now, brother, I mean, it's like crazy. I don't know if the moon's shining weird or or what in the world, brother. I mean, it is like there's so much crazy stuff going on in marriages right now. And what's the guy? What? Give us some insights of what you kind of learned.
I think most men don't know what they want, and they blame their wives for not having the thing that they don't even know what they want.
Ouch.
And I think a lot of men feel unappreciated by their wives.
Sure. Absolutely. Big time.
Right? They don't feel like their wives hold themselves accountable. They feel like a walking ATM machine. They feel like they're giving her everything that she wants, but it's never enough. And so they don't know what to do. Or they say they don't know what to do. You see, a lot of men give away their power. They choose to give it away by blaming their wife, by blaming their circumstances. When in reality, men are choosing to be in shitty marriages. Just like men are choosing to be fat and overweight. Men are choosing to be poor. Men are choosing to be disconnected from God. These are all choices. And so the thing that I've recognized is that over time, men convince themselves that this is just the way it is.
Oh my.
And if they would just approach their marriage with the same intensity, focus, and attention that they give their business, it would look radically different. And I talked to men who are entrepreneurs. I was like, if you had an opportunity to make $10 million off one transaction, how would you show up for that? You see, we have a perspective issue. We've defined wealth as our bank accounts or our 401ks or whatever else we can look at and see. Like we go to check our bank account, we're like, oh, okay, I have wealth. But redefining what that truly means. And what do you actually want in your marriage? You see, what I've also come to notice is that men have no problem creating business plans, but they have no vision for their marriage. And if you don't have a vision on where you're going nowhere. And it took longer than I'd like to admit, Keith, for me and my wife to create this vision. But the moment that we did, we stopped fighting about the dumb shit. It was no longer about the dishes or the groceries or bath time or the trash. We didn't fight about that shit anymore. Why? Because we had this vision on where we wanted to go. But it's hard to create a vision when you and your wife don't even really like each other. You're disconnected.
Wow.
And to me, a lot of men are tired of fighting. So they would rather keep the peace. Or they're doing it for the kids. And that's why they stay in these shitty marriages. And I tell men this, I was like, divorce your marriage, not your wife. If this current relationship isn't working for you, but it's the right woman, blow that bitch up. Not the wife, the marriage. And create something that you both want. It's not easy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just be like, just sit down and create a plan. No. A lot of hard conversations my wife and I had to have, a lot of hard conversations that men and women need to have about, hey, can we let go of the stuff in the past and move forward? Because the one thing that I know that is keeping everybody stuck is they focus on the problem and not the possibility.
I think guys need to really listen to what you're saying. For whatever reason, I've been blessed. My wife and I we've always dreamed together. We've always looked to a future, sat down, took time, talked, looked to the future of where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to have, who we wanted to help. We've always done that together. And that's part of being a king, right? You gotta lead. You gotta have a vision. A woman's purpose in our life is she's your helper. She's there to help you build. But if you don't give her a dream, if you don't give her a vision, you're not giving her her purpose.
And
I'll say that again. If you're not giving her a vision, she doesn't have a purpose, because her purpose is to help you build the vision.
And she can't have a vision if she doesn't feel seen, safe, and secure in the marriage. You see, a lot of Christians want to point to this, I don't even know what Bible verse it is, about women are meant to follow their husbands.
Right.
You better be fucking worth following.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. I love
So
that.
like,
Yeah.
so like, quit quoting your dumb fucking scripture if you're going to be overweight, out of shape, completely disregard everything she's going to say.
Come
You're going
on,
to be
brother.
an angry asshole, right? You're going to
Right.
show up and you're going to value your clients more than her. You're not going to date. Like, just shut your mouth.
Right.
Don't give me this shit, because the reality is, like, yes, you guys are here to work together, but the thing is too, you and your wife had a vision, and the moment that you fell asleep at the wheel, she was like, "Hey, wake up! This is not what we agreed to." She was fighting
Exactly.
for the thing. She wasn't fighting you, and you know that, but most men don't. You see, the one thing that I'll say, and I'm not like well versed in the Bible, but I'm dangerous enough to know some shit in there. When God created Eve, He took a rib out of Adam.
Yeah.
First, He put Adam to sleep. And then
Right.
after He created Eve, Eve breathed life back into Adam. Your wife's mission is to wake you up. And so when she says something and there's truth to it, if you're getting defensive, maybe you just take a step back and ask, could she be telling the truth here? Maybe, just maybe for a second, God's trying to get something into your thick skull and you won't listen.
Because what we all know this, right? Like the woman's got that sense of discernment. Like she can see things we're like blind to.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us guys will admit that. Like, your wife will say, don't hang around that woman, don't be friends with that guy. Why? I think he's a great guy. I'm just telling you, he's bad. I think he's a great guy. And then you hang out with him and yep, he ends up being a bad guy, ends up stabbing you in the back. And you're like, why didn't I listen to her? Oh my gosh, you dummy.
Yep.
Well, once you think deeper, guys, like think about this. With that same gift, she can spot wrong men and wrong opportunities that she's proven herself probably 100 times in your life. She can also spot wrong things that you're doing. Think about that one. I mean, that gift is there to help you and to serve you too, like you're saying.
And it's easy to say when you understand that, because you're on the other side of the work. In the moment when your wife's attacking you like that, you're like, yo, can we just
Right.
stop?
Oh yeah.
And so,
right.
like, as a guy, I think it's an opportunity I tell my guys this: if you feel yourself getting defensive, instead of fighting back, why don't you just become curious? Like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel the need to fight back? Because it's in that little pocket that you're experiencing is the exact thing that you need to move forward in what you're trying to build with your marriage.
Yeah, and that's and like you're pointing out with me, with my wife, with this whole dangerous men's movement. When she was talking all this, I'm like, this is crazy, honey. Whoa. This involves, do you understand how old I am? Do you understand I've done this for 30 years. 30 years. I've jumped on planes, traveled all over the world. I've done all this. Do you realize this means me getting back on airplanes again? And I'm sitting there thinking, and men, I mean, honey, would you look at our history of all the products we sold? We sold 90% of our products to women. Women buy our stuff. Women buy our stuff. I'm like, this is like suicide. So all that's going on in my head, like you're saying. But I was wise enough to say, 34 years has taught me something.
Mm-hmm.
I better go through this pivot challenge and pray and say, God, use these guys. God, I didn't know it was going to be Sergio. Use Sergio to help me really figure out if this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. You know what's beautiful about you doing this too? And this is what I tell my guys as well, because this leads into the marriage. The moment you raise your standard as a man, in your body, spiritually, right, in yourself, financially, the moment you raise your standard as a man and you stop playing the game of just like always being defensive, you put your wife in a house of mirrors. When you have fixed your shit, and she is trying to engage with you and trying to fight about something, and you disengage, not like you turn her down, you're just like, you're not getting defensive. Inevitably, the energy is no longer at you. It becomes about her. And this is what I noticed about my wife. I did so much work on myself, Keith. And I noticed that every time she would bring something up, I would fight back, and then we would get in a fight. And even though she had done something wrong, because we got into a fight, the energy got put on me, then I became the problem. But the moment that I stopped engaging in this and I stopped being defensive and I stopped reacting, and the moment that she had to sit with her own emotions, she realized that like I had handled my shit, and now it was up to her to look in the mirror and figure out what she needed to handle. Because there's nothing left for me to do. And when you raise your standard as a man and you become the best version of you for you, your wife is left to look in the mirror and figure out what she needs to work on too. And at that point, if she chooses not to work, and she chooses not to be a part of the relationship, and she chooses not to go where you're going, you have two options. Leave, but never complain again.
Ever feel like something's just off? Your body's slipping, your marriage is strained, and your income is stalled, and no one around you can push you to win. It's not your fault. You're just hanging out in the wrong circles. Ecclesiastes says, pity a man who walks alone, because if he falls, he's in trouble. So I'm inviting you into the Dangerous Coalition, an elite brotherhood for high-achieving men ready to dominate in every domain in life. Join me at dangerouscoalition.com and watch where God takes you in the days to come. It'll be more than you ever thought possible. Godspeed, my friend.
First thing is, you got to become the best version of yourself. After the pivot, I got clear. I got direction. I cast the vision to my wife and my daughter, who were ecstatic, excited. Every night it's every night we go for family prayer at 8:00 at night, and my daughter, and listening to my daughter and my wife pray for me about what's going on it touches me in ways you guys have no idea. But it caused me to raise my game with my vision. I came out of that, raised my game with my physical body, raised my game with my spending time with God. It's ritual. 5:00 in the morning, spend time with God, connect with Source, get myself ready, get myself prepared for the day. And then working on my relationships and developing my relationships in a different way, in a stronger way. I've been eliminating some and adding some. And it's been really exciting to see the new relationships God's brought in my life. because my wife challenged me to raise my standard. And I didn't get defensive. I did it first, didn't get defensive, but I just said, okay, I'll listen. And then step 2, Sergio's telling you, I decided to make myself a better man. And that's the journey that I'm on. And now it's really exciting to see what God's doing in my life. So when you think of a dangerous man, Sergio, before we go, what do you think of?
There's a phrase my friend Kyle said. He's a hard man with a soft heart. He'll hold his ground, but he'll also be empathetic. And it's the ability to be both.
Excellent answer. So love it. Both lion and lamb. Jesus was both. Thank you so much, Sergio, for being a part of us. Hey, where can people connect up with you, get in touch with you? I want to make sure that we connect our guys to you.
Yeah. I mean, the best spot's probably Instagram, just Sergio.Nazzaro. Or you can come check out the podcast I do with my wife on YouTube. It's called the Late Night Date Night Podcast.
Late Night Date Night.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got to say one thing, hanging around some of you guys, all you guys say, shave the hair off your chest and stop having all that hair on your chest. And I haven't got a good answer yet because my wife is like old school. Like she likes this Tom Selleck look. So help me, Sergio. What am I supposed to do with my chest?
I don't know, bro. Look, I got like this hairy Italian chest, bro.
Oh, all right.
But at the same time, I'm gonna trim this up. I just want to trim it in my own shower. So when we go to a hotel this weekend, because we're going to a wedding, I'll trim it up there. I like to keep it. I like to take the Italian cashmere down. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's too hairy, it gets caught in zippers and stuff. I don't want that. So I'm a little in between.
Okay, all right. Now I appreciate you more. You keep a little hair on your chest.
That's right.
All right, young man.
I have a choice. It's always there.
Hey guys, go visit Sergio's Instagram. Go check him out. Follow him. He's got really great. Listen, I want to talk to you. I want to really talk to you seriously. Sergio has some of the best Instagram little nugget videos to keep encouraging you. They're challenging. I listen to him on a regular basis. Go follow him, listen to his videos, and stay in touch with this guy. He's a relational guy. You'll enjoy him. God bless you, Sergio.
So you want to be a king? Well, being a king isn't about your ego. It's about serving your brothers. Because real leaders don't just sit there while their brothers suffer in silence. You've got guys in your circle in bad marriages, broke as a joke, drifting spiritually, and letting their bodies go. You know who they are. You probably thought of a few as I was saying that. So here's your next move. Hit the share and get 5 of them to join this men's movement. Because if you're really a king, you won't just rise alone, you'll bring your brothers with you.